I'm Steve Lamacq from BBC Radio 6 Music.
And how important is the Music Venue Trust to you?
It's incredibly important. There was a point where the closure of venues was just getting out of hand. There were too many venues just vanishing off the map, and that's too many little local music scenes. It's too many places where opportunities are being lost, not just for musicians to congregate, but also for people to go and see live music. The whole infrastructure goes. It's all built on live music, the grassroots venues. So the Music Trust coming along and offering practical advice for people and support, because it can be an incredibly solitary job just sitting in an office trying to keep a venue going. So to say there's someone else here who understands what your problems are and we will try and help you, I mean, it's extraordinarily important.
And what are you hoping to learn yourself on a day like today?
I like talking to people at venues about their audiences. All venues are different. I like travelling around the country, going to little venues. So I see a few, but I don't get to see everywhere. So it's interesting because not only do you discover about the bands that are playing, you get to learn a little bit about the sort of fans that exist around the country, because everyone's different. All towns, all cities have got a slightly different musical taste. So it's hoovering up loads of knowledge about what's going on out there, rather than just being part of the media that sits on its arse in London just thinking that they're great. I just think anything which devolves the music outside of London is a great thing, because there's so much going on. Northwest, all through Yorkshire, the south coast, like that Bristol scene, Birmingham now. You can't keep up with it all unless you talk to the people who are dealing with it on a day-to-day basis, and those are the promoters of those venues.
If you had a message for live music fans about these small grassroots venues, what would it be?
I always say, when you're talking about venues at this level, this is a treat yourself, because you will never get to see a band as hungry and as urgent and as exciting as those initial gigs that they play. You see the absolute rawness, the thrill of being on a stage for the first time. All those gigs that I spoke about earlier on, going to see Elastica for the first time, Coldplay in front of 30 people, but they're amazing because they've got no weight of expectation on them, the bands. They just want to go on and play, so they're completely unaffected by the music industry. And seeing a band playing with that sort of naive, pure joy of being a band, you'll never get that in an Enormo Dome 3 years down the line.